everyone, and welcome to a lovely restorative yin class. I just want to point out at the beginning that if you feel some trembling in the muscles, particularly in the one standing pose we've got, that is perfectly normal, and it's just a release of tension and energy. So it's perfectly okay. So you want to go ahead and maybe just grab yourself a pillow or a cushion, and we're going to start out this practice in a child's pose. So it's nice to just grab your cushion and just place it in the center here. So you want to bring your knees to the outside of the mat here, and your big toes come to touch. And just place your cushion here in center, or maybe a little bit further forward. Just giving yourself a little bit of support through the front line of the body here. And then just coming down, so maybe you want to put your elbows on it, maybe you want to bring your elbows in forward, and just allow yourself to just fold over this cushion. You can take the arms out in front if that feels comfortable. You can rest your cheek on the cushion. And you can allow your body to sink down, soften into the space. So allow the belly to come into the space between the thighs. Allow your tailbone to sink down onto your heels. There's softness in your shoulders. Softness in your jaw. And take a moment in this first pose just to check in. How are you doing today? What's nice in this pose is that the front line of the body is connecting to this pillow or cushion. And you can really start to notice the breath. So I want you to go there, I want you to reconnect to that breath. And just follow the rhythm. And start to lift the head. Really nice and gently. Just walk your hands back. You're going to take your cushion or pillow and just place it to one side for the moment. And just walk your hands back and just take a moment sitting here, lifting your head. Just allowing the blood flow to come back. Always mindful and nice and easy how we lift our head out of yin poses because we've been there a little while. So now we're going to come into a squat. So if you are super tight on your heels, I want you to take this cushion and just place it behind. So it really depends on whether you can get your heels down. So if you can't, you're going to place your cushion onto the mat. You're going to place your heels onto the cushion. Roll it up or roll your mat up if it still doesn't feel like it is enough for you. Turn the feet out very slightly, heels very slightly in. And now allow yourself to come down into the center. You don't want to necessarily be sitting on your cushion. So if you don't have to and you can have your heels down, then you just move your cushion to one side and your heels are just on the floor. And allowing your body just to hang here. I want softness, so place your hands on the mat in front. Allow your neck to become soft. Allow your spine to be long. And drop your head. We're looking for release through the back of the spine here, so again, because our belly is in between our thighs, we get this connection to the breath. We just want to notice that we want to follow that inhale and exhale and just be with it. Just make sure there's no tension in your hands, no tension in your jaw. Resist the urge to move out of this, however difficult it might feel at this moment. You're halfway through this pose, so you can do the second half. Just keep relaxing into it, keep softening, keep allowing. If you're struggling at this stage, just really go and connect with that breath. So just check in on the inhale and exhale. Breathe. And you've got about 5 seconds to go in this pose. And then you're going to nice and easy just bring yourself out of that. Bring your hands down onto the mat and just take your feet towards the back of the mat. So you maybe want to just find yourself in a little bit of a downward dog here, and a little bit of a stretch out into the back of those calves. Yeah. It doesn't have to be a full downward dog, just a little bit of a wiggle and just a noticing of how that felt in that pose. And then very nice and easy, you're going to just walk your feet forwards. You're going to come into a hanging pose now. So feet are about hip distance apart. Your knees can be bent. There's no need to be struggling in this pose. This is nice and gentle. You want to bring your hands to either elbow as you come into this kind of ragdoll pose. And this is the one where you might find there's a little bit of shaking, and that's okay. So keep a little bend into those knees. Allow the spine to become long. Allow the neck to become soft. If at any point you want to straighten the legs, then you can feel free to do so. But you can keep that bend in the legs all the way through. There's 2 minutes. Allow gravity to just use its energy to pull you down and to allow you to feel supported and allow you to lose resistance in this pose. At any point you want to release those elbows, you can allow your hands to fall down towards the floor. But we're not supporting ourselves here, we're just allowing this body to hang. So there's no placing the hands down and pushing up, we're just soft here. Maybe there's a little bit of a quiver starting in the legs. And just make a note of which leg it is. Maybe it's both, or maybe it's one.
If it is right, right is future. If it is left, left is past. So you may well find there's a little bit more shaking in the right leg at this time. You've got about 5 seconds to go here. And then nice and easy, start to lift the head. Take the hands onto the mat and just walk those feet back a little bit. So you're going to just lengthen out into that downward dog again. Maybe give it a little bit of a pedal out. It doesn't have to be a full downward dog. It's just a kind of baby movement here. We're going to work our way into pigeon. We're going to start on our left side. So just nice and easy. We're going to bring the shoulders over the wrist and bring the left knee in towards the left wrist. And just going to allow your body to work its way back. So the easiest way to do this is to just keep lifting that knee and sink it back and sink it back. You're going to take hold of your pillow or your cushion or whatever you have, and you're going to place it underneath the left side, just as a little bit of support here. And then find a comfortable place. Try and have the heel here kind of in line with the hip. And then allow the body to come down. Maybe you're going to come onto your forearms, or maybe you're going to fold all the way down. Whatever suits you and wherever you feel your practice needs to go today. I really want you to honor your body and notice what you need in this time. So if it feels like it's really tense, maybe you want to stay on your forearms. Maybe you want to come all the way down. And again, we get this connection of belly to body. And we can come back to the breath. You want to make sure that little pinky toe of the extended leg is touching the mat. That way you know your hips are nice and square. And very gently start to lift your head. I want you to walk your hands back as you start to lift up. Just tuck under the toes of that right foot. Just very nice and gently and easily make your way back through to the downward dog. Now we're going to bring the right knee forward. So again, shifting shoulders over wrist. We're going to bring the right knee to that right wrist. We're going to grab our cushion and just put it across to the other side so we get that support underneath that thigh. We're going to work that left leg back, make sure the pinky toe is touching the floor, and try and work that right ankle to that the right heel to the right hip. And then when you're ready, just starting to fold down, and you just see if maybe this side feels slightly different. So maybe on this side, you feel like you need to stay on your elbows, that's okay.
Or maybe it feels like you want to really sink into this.
Again, we've got this connection of belly to body, and we can feel our breath. So at any point you feel
a tension or you feel like you want to come out of it, just go back to that breath and keep connecting to it. It's just noticing the breath as an instantly calming effect on the body will lower your cortisol levels, your stress levels. And just provide option to everywhere it needs to go right now. And then very nice and gently start to lift that head. Start to walk the hands back. Always being mindful. And tuck the toes of the left foot. Lift through that left knee.
And find your way back through your downward dog. Give this a little stretch out and pedal out. Now we're going to come to sit on our mat, so you can make your way into a seated position. Maybe just turn around sideways on your mat. You're going to extend your right leg down. Do the opposite way too. So you can extend your right leg down, and then you're going to tuck your left foot in next to that thigh. So I want you to be mindful how you do this pose and don't go too far if you're feeling super tight. We're really going to get into the side body here. So you're going to grab your pillow or cushion and you're going to place it right here over your knee, or maybe in front, depending on where you need it. Okay. So you want to turn your body around towards this bent leg. And then you want to gently place this elbow down onto this cushion. And you want to support your head here. So you're going to start out right here. And then when you're ready, you're going to start to lift through this arm. And you're going to start to take it overhead. So maybe it only comes to here. Maybe you just want to take it and just hang it behind. Maybe this is enough for you and this is as far as you can go. Or maybe you can go down a little bit further. You can still support the head, or maybe you want to take hold of the foot, or maybe that's too much right now. So just see where you go. See where it feels no tension in the feet. So no extension or flexion there. Just this nice soft pull through the side body. This slowly gentle release. At any point you feel like you want to ease down a little bit further and it's starting to feel like you can come more open, then you can do so. But just be mindful. We don't want tension here. We just want ease. If that feels like it's too much, ease up a little bit. You really want to be swirling the breath around this side body. So we're getting deep into this side area here in this fascia. This probably hasn't moved very much in the last couple of weeks, so just allowing this to stretch in its own time. You might find that this pose makes you feel a little angry, that's okay. Or maybe it makes you feel sad. It doesn't matter how you feel, just notice it. Beautiful, nice and easy. We're going to start to lift up out of that pose. So releasing the hand down, gently lifting the head. Come back to that upright position. Take a moment. Bring the legs out in front of you. Give them a little bit of a shake. Just get the blood flow back into that bent leg. Let's come on to the other side. So we're going to extend the other leg down to the end of the mat. So you're making this little square shape here, and then bring this foot into this thigh. Grab your cushion, your pillow, whatever you're using, and take it across to the other side. And then now you're going to come down, so you're going to take this elbow down, and you really want to support your head here. I don't want any tension in the neck. You really want to soften through this space. And you're going to take this arm over, and you're just going to gently let it hang. So again, we're finding that softness. If it feels okay and you want to come all the way down, if it feels too much, just choose wherever you feel like you need to go. Soften the toes. Close the eyes. Again, if halfway through you feel like you want to soften down a little bit more, it's feeling comfortable and easy, you can do that. And if it doesn't, just stay right where you are. Keep the head supported, keep that neck soft. Connecting to your breath, connecting to whatever emotion this is bringing up for you. Sadness, anger, maybe joy, maybe just some release of tension, maybe just some ease. And just a little bit longer here. And start to nice and easy lift up out of that. So bringing the arm over first and then gently lifting the head and taking this little moment in the middle as you just take a reset. You're going to bring the legs out in front and just give them a little bit of a shake. We're going to come into a double pigeon. This is probably everyone's worst pose, but we're really holding on to a lot of tension right now, so I really want to ease into the hips. So just be mindful how you do this. So you want to sit kind of squarely on your mat, and you want to line up this shin with the edge of your mat. And then you're going to grab a pillow and you're going to place it here. So you're going to give yourself a little bit of support. You're going to take the other foot across and you're going to try and line it up on top. So if you're super open in your hips here and you can square off here, so you want to make sure you've kind of got the squareness, you've got the flat edges of the feet in line with the knees. So that's not possible for me today. So I'm going to line up like this. And maybe all I do is stay sitting upright in this pose, and that is okay. Try and get the sole of the foot and the outside of the knee in some sort of alignment. So for me, my hips are super tight at the moment, and I'm going to just sit right here. If this is super comfortable for you and the knees are touching the feet, then you can fold forwards. If that feels really nice to you, then go ahead and fold. Otherwise, just stay sitting upright with me. And bring the eyes to close. And really connect to the breath as we try and get some tension out of this space. Again, you want to notice what is coming up here. This restorative class is a great way to connect into how you're feeling. Maybe even take a moment to journal afterwards. Drink lots of water. Try not to hold tension in your shoulders as you're sitting here. So try and keep this nice and easy place in the body. I know it's hard in this particular pose, but we're going to do our best. We're just going to be with it. You've got about 15 more seconds to go. Just stay with the breath. Stay with this pose. Perfect, and then just really nice and easy as you take the top leg off, extend it out, extend the other leg out, give the legs a little bit of a shake, give yourself a moment to reset in between. Now you're going to bring the other leg in front. It doesn't matter which one you did first. So you're going to bring this one in front, line up that shin with the edge of your mat. Grab your cushion pillow. If you need two, then go ahead and grab two. Perhaps you need a lot of support on this pose, that is okay. If you are really, really tight, you want to place something underneath you, but otherwise just try and do it here with just this. So now we're going to line up again as much as we can, the soles of the feet and the knees. And again, I'm just going to stay sitting upright. I'm just going to keep my spine nice and tall. And just allow some of this tension to leave my hips. What's interesting is, normally for me this pose is fairly accessible, but in this time of stress and lockdown, I find myself very tight in my hips. Just a show to me that I am holding on to quite a lot of tension.
And it's okay. We are where we are at. And we honor that, we accept it. Just a couple more breaths on this pose. Nice and easy. Lift your head if you're folded. Unravel those legs and extend them out in front. Give them a little bit of a shake. A little bit of a wiggle, get the blood flow back in. Take your pillow and or your cushion and just place it at the top of your mat. You're going to turn yourself back around the way you were and just come to a Supta Baddha Konasana. So you want to roll yourself down onto your spine. Bring the soles of your feet to touch. Don't bring them too far in. We're not trying to get any more tension into the body. We're trying to release, and just allow the knees to drop open. Take your hands down either side. I want you to really roll your shoulders down onto the floor. If it feels good to you, you can take a hand onto the belly and one onto the heart space. And take a moment to be grateful for honoring your body in the way that you have just done. So I really want you to take as long as you need in this last pose. When you are ready to come out of it, you're going to take your hands to either side of your thighs as you gently release yourself out of it. So please be mindful when you come out of this pose with Steve. So just stay there for as long as you feel your body can be there. And it's a lovely release into the hips. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.